Hi, my name is Jerry.
Hi, my name is Shibin.
And my name is Natalie.
So today's topic is about school uniform policy. And what do you say about the school uniform policy that we have in Northeast right now?
Okay, school uniform policy. I mean, it's getting to a point that, it's getting ridiculous. Like how like it's like huge, like why like you have to emphasize so much on the uniform.
That's right.
Exactly. So I guess so I don't like how the school executes how the school executes the school uniform policy.
Yeah, because we have an overly strict school uniform policy right now, and it's ridiculous because we have people collecting hoodies.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you're not wearing your hoodies, people are collecting it. I think that should be stopped because we're not even wearing them, and it shows how the school does not care about our own beliefs and stuff.
Not a lot of people have lockers.
Yeah, not all people have lockers, and a lot of people expect the uniform to go to a locker, like the hoodies, and and they start collecting it for no reason. I think that's a big problem right now.
It's taking up the class time too, because sometimes I go to class.
Yeah.
And then the teacher lectures for 20 minutes about the school uniform,
Because even in the do now, we see class, right? So we see put your tie on, take your hoodie off. It's it wasted time that we could put in there. We could talk about different things like academy, it wastes time and the announcement every time we see the announcement people
every time it just reminds us you gotta wear your tie on, you gotta put your white shirt on, you gotta put this.
It's
pants
they never
on, right?
say you should be start they never start the day with a good note. They just put your hoodie on, put your tie on, just it shows how just ridiculous.
What's ironic was that before I even came here, I had a Chinese class in the afternoon, and the dean walked in and everyone was silent, and so 11 kids in my class got their outerwear taken away.
All right.
Okay, so what do you think are the pros and the cons of wearing the school uniform or having a
So
school uniform policy?
there are positives and negatives about it.
Okay.
So positives are it shows school pride, and you could express yourself with school pride, school uniform. There's no bullying.
Okay, so you're already talking about school pride. So if talking about school pride, the uniform, right? So when the school students wear the uniform, they should feel proud about what they're representing and what they're wearing. But that's not the case for Northeast High School, because I used to go to a Catholic school. A Roman Catholic. They have they sing they have so much pride in their school, and then they love wearing the uniform.
Yeah.
Right, but it's different from Northeast High School. So I wouldn't say pride, showing pride applies to our school.
Do you see any pros and cons?
Yeah, I do. I think if you're spending money on school gear and you're supporting our school with helping us donating and funds and stuff like that, why can't we wear it? It has Northeast name in it. It has the colors.
Yeah.
I don't get why we can't wear it and why it has to be taken away, especially when we paid for it.
Also, I see the hoodie, the sweaters that we're allowed to wear, that costs $30.
Yes.
And a lot of people are not, financially stable to buy that hoodie. It costs $30. So, as a media lab, we know the issue behind it. So we asked the students what they think about it. So we conducted a survey, and the survey was with 48 people signed up for it. And people that go to NHS, 20% of them voted yes for uniform, and 80% voted no. And students that go to other schools under the school district of Philadelphia and other districts, they said 17% said yes to school uniforms, and 83% said no to school uniforms. So that shows how a dislike towards school uniform policy is being shown in Northeast High School. Because we collecting hoodies and doing the extreme measures of regulating the uniform policy. It shows how the students support dislike towards school uniform and so.
Northeast has its negatives of having the dean take away
your
$100 hoodie, but then also Central has a problem as well as with getting most likely dress coded with.
Yeah, I mean there's two extremes right now. Northeast is extreme about the school uniform policy, and Central people have the freedom to wear whatever they want, but they take it to the extreme level.
They take it to the extreme level to if you are wearing correctly, the correct way, then you will get dress coded. I know I see like the pros and the cons of it, but
Yeah.
I'm just neutral. Like if the school wants me to wear a uniform, I'll wear it. But if they don't,
I mean, I'll wear it too, because like they just have to take away the
they just
the
have to.
extremes.
They're just too
Yeah.
extreme with it and strict with it.
So we have Mr. Finley.
Yeah.
We
Dr. Finley.
yeah, Dr. Finley, and he's a chemistry teacher at Northeast High School, and like I asked him what do you think about the uniform policy. He wanted to talk about it, so we couldn't get his interview, so we had to audio record him, and the recording is
Let's see what
here.
he says.
Yeah. So what is your stand on uniform?
Well, I'm against uniforms, and the reason is there's no academic reason for uniforms,
Yeah.
and the bottom line is it costs money. So we give out probably 10,000 ties every year, and we just don't get the money back 100%. So the bottom line is that's one book that we could buy, and also the students hate it. So we spend an awful lot of time policing the students wearing their ties when we should be teaching them.
It's true.
And also, if the students could wear their street clothes, they would be happier, that would improve their academic performance.
So do you think like the collecting hoodies and like all those stuff will be stopped, or like the detention or something? Like people who come in different rooms and they collect hoodies.
Yeah.
So like
Well, some rooms are cold and some rooms are hot.
yeah.
And I really don't understand what the fuss is. Well, I understand what the fuss is. In the 1800s, when public schools were started, the purpose of education was to produce a socially outstanding citizen, which was wrapped up in the Protestant religion.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that we have parochial schools is because in the mid-1800s, when all the Catholics from Irish were coming, they didn't want to read the Protestant Bible in school, right? If you ask an administrator today, what's the primary purpose of the school, he will say, keep the children safe. Both of these reasons are moot because, what's a school? You're supposed to learn something, right? Technical things so you can get a good job.
Yeah.
And how does school uniforms fit into learning things so you can get a good job?
Okay.
And being used to wearing a tie is not a reason.
Okay.
Okay, so I have something to say about that. So I see he has a point.
Yeah.
So okay, just imagine you walk into a classroom and then you get immediately yelled at because of your uniform. How am I supposed to focus in the class after that?
That's true.
Like how am I supposed? It just loses. It
Like
just,
you're not
ruins my
like
mood.
you don't get like a student-teacher relationship with that. Like
Exactly.
You feel nervous about next time.
yeah, it's like every time like you've lost your tie, you feel scared of going to class, and like that like you have like that tension in
Exactly.
class, like they're gonna come and they're gonna give me detention because I'm not wearing a tie. It's just like
See, like you're more worried about your uniform than
Yeah.
what school,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
So it's like going to class. You're supposed to be worried about classwork and stuff, not your uniform. That's not the primary focus here,
Yeah.
right? But that's what the school is doing, so which is ridiculous.
It's like they care about uniform or academics mainly
Exactly.
right now, because we have people going door to door collecting hoodies in garbage bags,
Which
and
is
like
disgusting. Actually.
yeah. So we have some like reviews of people like that we surveyed. So we're gonna speak about it. So our first review is Alvin Abraham. He's a junior at Northeast High School, and he said the uniform policy, as in the white shirt and khaki pants, is all right, but with outerwear is what is so annoying and useless. People should be able to wear at least tough with no hoods, and if clothes are being taken away from people, they should be kept in a clean and organized way, instead of shoving them into trash bags. And that could be a problem because some people in Northeast have never heard of hygiene. So like some of us, we're not trying to get no lice or other diseases. That's what he said.
Basically, to really summarize it, he says that the school should keep our underwear. If they do get taken away,
Yeah.
either don't get them taken away,
Mm-hmm.
or if you do, keep them in somewhere sanitary place.
Yeah.
That isn't like mixed with other people.
Yeah. So the another one is Jennifer Rodriguez. She is a senior here, and she said, "It is especially annoying that my school requires us to wear white button-down shirts because the combination of sweat and deodorant make a yellow stain that is not only look disgusting but does not come out. This makes me feel uncomfortable throughout the day and contributes to me not wanting to come to school. Side note, my school does not even have AC in the classroom with crowded hallways and lunchroom."
Yeah, as a girl, I get really paranoid about my clothes getting stained.
Yeah. I feel that too. It's like, you know.
It's like just anything, to be honest. A few days ago, or a few weeks ago, there was actually a girl that vomited, and like, I think the only thought I had was like, did she stain her shirt?
Yeah. And like, you know, you gotta like go like right after school, you gotta go to a shop and like you gotta buy the white shirt. Cause like, you know, we can't, cause if you don't come to school with the white shirt, you're gonna get detention. And that's just, I don't know how that works, cause like it's uniform.
I think some people, like, there are ways to getting out of a uniform. You can
It's
wear
true.
it in a different way, but I
Mhm.
think they're starting to crack down on that. Like,
Yeah,
you know how,
yeah.
You know how a lot of people are wearing champion hoodies now?
Mhm.
Not champion, sweaters?
Yeah.
They're starting to take that away. Like, they're starting to completely.
Yeah, cause like,
It's uniform.
yeah, cause like, you know,
It's-
you're allowed to wear a black sweater, cause it's gonna be cold in the
They didn't
classroom.
specify that you had to, like, they didn't specifically say you can't wear a champion sweater.
Mm-hmm.
It's still black and it matches with the school uniform colors.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're still getting taken away
Mhm.
for absolutely no reason, even though they're following it.
How you say it, like, if for the pros part,
Yeah.
if we wear a uniform, right, we don't have to think about what we wear in the morning, right?
That's right.
So, okay, so just imagine I wake up in the morning and then I'm looking, like, just imagine I don't know where I put my tie, and then I have to like look for it.
Mhm.
Well, if you don't have a uniform, then you could just, you know, wear whatever whatever.
And, like,
you don't have to like really find.
That takes the time away from the,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
yeah.
So you don't have to look for your tie because you have to have a tie.
Yeah.
But like if you wear like anything you want, you don't have to think about it that much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, especially when you're in a rush. You know, you're like, oh my gosh, where my tie is.
Mm-hmm.
And that sometimes happens to me in the morning. So I think wearing without the uniform, it would have been better. You know, it would have. I would have arrived at school more earlier.
Pros, we have one person, his name is Denny Bani. He's a junior here, and he said, although I do like uniforms, I believe that our school should allow us more freedom to at least wear sweaters from school clubs and white t-shirts, as unlike hoodies, they do not pose a security threat.
Yeah.
Isn't that correct?
Yes. As a person who's just neutral about it, like I don't have a hard yes or no answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think uniforms aren't that bad, but I think they just need to dial it down. Like they're being a little bit like,
Extreme about it?
yeah, basically.
Every time like you wear something out of uniform as a security threat, and like people take it away, and like I don't know how that works.
I mean,
But-
okay. So I mean, there are pros and cons to
There
this to wearing a uniform,
Mhm.
but for some reason there's more cons than pros.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
there are some pros like, you know,
So-
being able to identify somebody.
There's more cons.
Yes. So one pro is like, you know the lockdown we had.
The pro is
So everyone's like aware of the lockdown that we had, right?
The pro was that if someone were to come up to our school and
Yes.
carry a weapon,
Mhm.
it would be easy to identify them because they're not wearing a uniform.
That's right. So I think that
Well,
same
that's
thing
true,
happened.
But like,
Yeah.
how common is that?
I mean, in the society, like it's pretty common. Like,
I know that, but like, you know, some other schools that don't wear uniform.
because like that one day, so police officers were coming into schools and they were able to distinguish Northeast students versus a school shooter. I don't know, something happened that day, but like they were able to,
I mean, the school shooter can be a Northeast student, so
it's true. That's
so like,
that's
it
also
could be
true.
the other way around.
Is the cost.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the cost, the enforcement.
The extremeness
Mhm.
of enforcing
Yeah.
it. You're unable to wear school gear, except for that cardigan that costs like $30.
Mm-hmm.
And the freedom of expressing yourself, as many of my peers in Central say, they actually like expressing themselves. Or if one day they were to wake up late, just
Mhm.
they're wearing pajamas, just go to school,
Yeah.
and they're not late. I think if we didn't have uniforms, I think it'll cause less likeliness for lateness. Didn't wear uniforms when they were in high school. My mom wore a uniform, but
Mhm.
my mom didn't like it. So did the students in her school. But all the teachers so far that I have classes with, or they teach me, they didn't wear uniforms when they were in.
That was a good discussion, right? And we should end this soon. All right. Thank you for being part of the podcast, and see you later.
So one of the The whole point of having a uniform is so that everyone is the same. The outerwear rule is for safety, and safety is our absolute number one priority here. And if the hoodie says Northeast, or if it doesn't say anything at all, it can still be used to obscure one's face. And the example that I give to students is when students wear a hood, get in trouble in the hallways in particular, we cannot identify them. So let's say, for example, you were attacked at school. It's a very rare occurrence, but it does happen. And we were unable to identify the person who attacked you because they were wearing a hood. We would have no way of explaining that to your parents, that, hey, your kid bought a Northeast, or the kid who attacked your child bought a Northeast sweatshirt or a Northeast hoodie. We thought it was a good idea for them to wear it to school. Does that make sense? So that's where that comes from. We're trying to keep our students safe. We're working, however, on a compromise. What I believe is that student voice is important. I've heard from students, they email me regularly, they stop by my office and we talk. We're looking at a compromise to figure out how we can make it so that students have more freedom and flexibility in the dress code. But that's not going to happen until next school year as far as any changes to our dress code policy. So let me tell you why we have the uniform. And I think that this is something that I haven't communicated well enough, I don't think, and I need to work on that, and we're going to work on that. My predecessor, the principal that was here before me, Miss Carroll, adopted the uniform because people from the community would refer to Northeast students as animals. And she would say that she got tired of it. She got tired of people making assumptions about Northeast kids. It made her angry, made her frustrated. And what her hope was with the uniform was that Northeast students would be given a chance. That if somebody from outside of our school were to come across a Northeast student, that they would treat them differently because they were in a necktie and a button-down shirt. That they would be treated like a human, that they would be treated with respect, that they would be treated like valuable members of our community. That's what the uniform is about.